Throughout our lives, there may be times when we're more aware of how we look or how others might perceive us. Being even slightly different in a society where there's pressure to look a certain way can be tough.
It's something that I can relate to. Having lost my hair due to alopecia, I'd gone from having flowing, long blonde hair to nothing. It was a huge shock, and accepting how I now look was incredibly difficult. So I really can understand the challenges facing those who are living with what's known as a visible difference. And it's why I want to tell you about the charity Changing Faces. They offer support to anyone in the UK living with a scar, mark or condition that makes them look different. And they recognise that early intervention, particularly for young people, is key.
It's very tough having to do this every day, not just my face, but all over my body.
David is 13 years old and lives with a skin condition which causes severe blistering.
My condition is bullous ichthyosiform erythroderma, or BIE for short. Well, my condition is very painful. Every time I wake up, always sore. Every time I go to sleep, I'm always sore.
I've got the same condition as well. I actually got it from myself. I was devastated because I knew then what my son was going to have to go through. And I always remember, he just started crying and we asked him what was up. And he told us that he didn't want to go to school.
I was getting stared at and getting called names. People wouldn't want to talk to me or go near me because they thought my condition was contagious.
Fortunately, staff at David's primary school were very supportive and school life began to improve. But his family knew he needed help with his confidence and so reached out to Changing Faces, who offered him one-to-one counselling sessions.
It was a safe space. If I didn't want to tell my mum and dad something, I could just tell her and she would be there to speak to me about it. I'm very grateful for Changing Faces because talking to new people was so easy. I didn't shy away from conversations anymore and I made a lot of new friends pretty quickly.
Seeing the change in David from going to Changing Faces has been amazing. David's away! It doesn't matter what you look like, everybody's just the same. And everybody should accept everybody for who they are and know what they are.
There's estimated to be around 3.5 million children and young people in the UK who identify as having a visible difference. And charity research has shown that life can feel even harder for those teenagers, as almost half have experienced bullying at school. Not only can this negatively impact a child's mental health, it also demonstrates a lack of understanding from those around them. And this is something the charity wants to change.
Marcus was born with a cleft palate and has had numerous operations throughout his life.
As I was growing up, I never really noticed my visible difference, but up until year 3 was when I started to notice because I was getting called names. Just didn't want to go to school. Just because I just knew what was going to happen.
He started to just be really quiet, not happy, and it wasn't until halfway through that year I've had enough. So we went into the school.
And funnily enough, that was when Changing Faces came in.
Sam saw an advert for the charity, and after contacting them, she and Marcus went to one of their parent workshops.
Marcus got to meet other children that looked different, and I got to meet the parents of those children that looked different. What an eye-opener. I wasn't the only one. Changing Faces gave me hope that they could help us too.
Not only were they supported through their parent workshop, but after hearing about Marcus's difficulties at school, the charity offered to give an assembly to explain to his schoolmates about living with a visible difference.
The assembly definitely helped. The bullying stopped. My classmates understood more, and they just started treating me like there wasn't anything different.
The fact that Changing Faces has helped means so much to us. You're not on your own. There's always somebody there to help you.
Catch it.
Changing Faces is the only charity providing a counselling and wellbeing service for children with a visible difference. And every day they see how that support is changing families' lives. And if they can reach children at a young age, it means that years of unhappiness can be avoided.
The services available from Changing Faces, helping people with their mental well-being, is so important for everybody, particularly young people, because it gives them that chance to know that they're not suffering in silence. I was 10 years old when I was involved in a plane crash. I sustained 45% burns to my face and body. In a split second, life as I knew it changed. Not only have I, woke up with a new face, but I've lost my family. I lost all my confidence. And at that time, there wasn't that type of support for me. So I was suffering in silence. If I'd known about a charity like Changing Faces from a young age, I know things would have been a lot different.
Having a visible difference is a part of who you are, and learning to deal with one on your face or body can be a difficult but important journey. By providing a variety of advice and support, the charity can reach people of all ages and inspire confidence.
As was the case for Sophie, she was born with a large red birthmark on her forehead.
I was 13, 14, I really noticed that people were staring at me, and that is the age that you'd want to fit in, so to be constantly reminded that you don't look like everyone else made my confidence just really hit rock bottom.
Sophie used the charity's specialist skin camouflage service, where highly pigmented creams are used to reduce appearance of marks, scars or skin conditions. The option of having this helped her on her path to regain confidence.
How are you?
And she later
Thank you
decided
so
to
much
try
for
life
coming to
without
meet me.
it.
What was the reaction like when you decided that you were not going to bother with the skin camouflage anymore?
The first few years was kind of, you get the few odd comments, and that was almost like, well, I'm just kind of starting school again. And then the bullying got relentless. I had to go to school kind of knowing I was going to have to face it.
And I guess one of the things is as well, you don't want to be that person that goes to a teacher, because then it's kind of like a vicious circus and make it worse.
You don't want to make it a bigger deal, because then I felt like more vulnerable. But I think it got to that point where I was like, well, actually, I need to stop this.
So contacting Changing Faces, what difference has it made to you?
By being able to share my story, it's helped me grow in confidence, and I've met so many other people that, again, hearing their stories makes me want to kind of help people even more and help share my experiences. It's almost come from accepting that I look different and I'm not going to change that, and I shouldn't change myself for other people. It's my life. I can do what I want.
Changing Faces want to be there for anyone who needs them, especially during those difficult formative years. By offering confidence, support and opportunity, they open doors for people to lead the lives that they want. They can only do this with your continued support, so please do give whatever you can.
To find out more, visit the website www.changingfaces.org.uk.
Thank you.